Hi there. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to the gallery. I'm sure you might feel a little disoriented, a little confused, because after all, you are a little floating soul in a gallery. However, I'm here to explain to you why you're here, what it is we're going to do next, and what happens after that. I don't own the gallery, I am simply the curator. The gallery belongs to the archivist. He is an avid collector of souls. Don't get me wrong, he's not interested in the virtuous or the damned or the forgotten per se. He wants to collect the most interesting of souls. Those who did amazing things, those who had amazing things on their minds. The quiet little souls who are just amazing. And there are several rooms to the gallery where you might find yourself. I'll tell you what the rooms are, and then there's a little questionnaire for each to see if that's where you belong. If it is, and you're happy with the outcome, on the shelf you pop. And welcome to the collection. Do you think? Okay. So, we'll start with the first room. Feel free to just float there, that's absolutely fine. If you prefer a more comfortable form, please take it, it's no problem. The first room I like to call the Chamber of Residual Thought. Some big thinkers in there. So, for souls that really couldn't stop thinking, were endlessly looping things over, quiet obsessions, intimate reflections, things like that. Sound like you? Let's answer some questions. So, what did you think about most often back when you were alive? Okay. And did you prefer speaking or thinking? Did you ever find yourself thinking about lots and lots of things at once? Hallmark of a big thinker, that one. Have you ever revisited a conversation 100 times long after it had ended? Some of our biggest thinkers in that room did so in the shower. Were you ever brave enough to speak your mind? And that little voice of yours, your inner voice, what does it sound like? Did you ever feel like your thoughts were racing, getting ahead of you, so that you yourself had to catch up? Were you good at keeping secrets? I am terrible at keeping secrets. If somebody says to me, "Can you keep a secret?" I say no. But they do tend to tell me anyway. For example, when I have a fantastic new soul in the collection, I have to tell everybody. I have a feeling I'll be letting them know about you. What was the most dangerous idea that you almost believed? Is thinking deeply in the way that you do a blessing or a curse? I know. How often did you speak just so that other people would be quiet? Were you ever asked a question which haunted you, which stayed with you afterwards? Did you answer it? Did you ever get close to fully answering it in your head? Since you arrived here, have your thoughts slowed at all? Do they feel a little calmer, a little more organised? Like you can think a little more clearly? Do you consider silence to be your friend? Did your mind ever feel like a maze that needed navigating? Was there anything that you never even allowed yourself to consider that now you can? Lots and lots of souls in this room fail to consider just how incredible they are. I love incredible souls. Might you consider it now? What was your favourite thing to think about when you couldn't sleep? If your mind was a library, what type of books would it hold? I like that answer. Would you prefer to overthink or have a completely blank mind? There may be a place for you in the chamber of residual thought, but I'm not certain. That does mean, though, is that you are a very interesting specimen indeed. The archivist will be very pleased with that. The next room is called the Hall of Interruption. It might be that you feel more comfortable there. This was for souls caught mid-action. Maybe leaving behind some things that are incomplete. Maybe your destiny was halted before its time. Things were left dangling. What was the very last thing you meant to do before you came here? Could be something very small, could be something huge. Whose voice brings you the most comfort? What did your hands like to reach for? Something? Somebody? What are you planning to do today before you came here? If I gave you more time, what would you do? We often have lots and lots still to do. Which part of your story did you enjoy the most up to this point? What would you like to do next? Did you ever feel that there was more to the day than it actually gave you? Sometimes time can steal things, and sometimes it won't give what it should. What did a normal evening look like? In your life, have you ever left any art unfinished? In your pursuits, did you often find yourself interrupted? How often did you find yourself having to start over? Not necessarily through your own doing. Do you believe that regrets are a waste of time? Were you always able to finish your trains of thought? Something that eludes me an awful lot. Did you always know what you wanted to do? Do you still not know? I always wanted to be a curator. I was very, very fortunate to meet the archivist when I did. I'm not sure you'd be comfortable in the Hall of Interruption. Let's think again. The next room that I can offer you is the Gallery of the Anchored. Something holding you down, holding you to the earth. Tied to the world. Obsessions, attachments, objects. Might have become an identity bag. It's not really feeling like you, but let's see. What object did you treasure above all others? Is there an object that you ever carved your name or initials into? Did your hands ever not want to let go? Which of your possessions did you think about at night? What did you refuse to share? Was it love or ownership? Did you believe that home is where the heart is? My heart lies here in the gallery with all these wonderful souls. What did you lock away? Did a possession of yours ever outshine you? Do you still feel the pull of earthly objects and possessions? What did you hide that wasn't supposed to be found? Is your name ever attached to something permanent? Not as in the etching and the carving. As in, did you lend your name to something incredible? Can you still hear the hum of life? What was the last thing you held? Sometimes the archivist takes great pleasure in the souls that form this collection. But sometimes he takes even greater pleasure from learning that one came to us that wasn't necessarily supposed to be here, and we sent them on to somewhere better. I have a few more questions for you. These are questions for those I like to call the misfiled, for souls that don't necessarily belong here in the collection. And my first indication of that is often that you resist classification. But let's see. Do you believe that you're here by mistake? Feel like you've been somewhere like here before? What did you think the afterlife would look like? Does your soul feel comfortable here? Does a part of you have a feeling that you'd like to move on past this gallery? Okay. If I asked you to close your eyes, not that you have them any longer, but humour me, if I asked you to close your eyes, where would your mind take you? Do you feel like you veered from your path? Do you feel like something is trying to call you away, to go somewhere else on other adventures? What do you remember more, lights or shadows? Do you feel like you're waiting to be found? Honestly, how do you feel about spending eternity on these shelves? Would you be happy to give your place to somebody else who would very much like to be on these shelves? Do you believe you were stolen? Do you believe that the classification of misfiled is appropriate for you? Finally, if not here, then where would you like to spend eternity? is all of my questions. I think we both know where you belong. I am so pleased to have met you. Before we go any further though, I would very much like for you to meet the archivist, if you would like. I think he would be thrilled to meet an amazing soul such as you. What do you say? Care to meet the archivist? Care to tour a little further? Care to talk to any of the other souls? Well, when you're ready, follow me. Exciting times ahead for you.